iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
I think the best thing about this pandemic, if there's any good to be found in it, is that it's taught us all to take in every single moment and really try to process every single day and be grateful for every single day that comes along, because we never know what's going to be next. I mean, it certainly taught us that. I certainly never saw a global pandemic on the list of my possibilities when I first booked the role. So I drop to my knees every night, look out and hear that applause, and just I can't tell you how happy it makes me.
I think it's the people, quite honestly. This cast is phenomenal. The energy, the love, the passion that people feel from this space. I mean, it's an incredible story, and I'm so honored to be amongst these amazing artists. It really is, and we give our hearts every night.
Mrs. Doubtfire is a subversive comedy because you show up to laugh, which you do, but you leave crying. And that's a testament to the story. It's a testament to our writers. It's a testament to our team. It's a testament to the craft that's been put into it. But it's also a testament to the audience and the place that they're in. That at the core, this show is about the lengths to which you would go to reunite with your loved ones, which after the last 2 years is cracking people wide open. And I love being able to tell that story, and here's the cool thing is that right now, social media has created this false bubble that every single one of us needs to be serving every single mission statement at every single moment. And what I love about walking around here today is spotting all these different teams and all these different artists who are serving different mission statements so that collectively Broadway can be serving a large multitude of mission statements telling different stories. And Mrs. Doubtfire, what's interesting is that, certainly laughter is a mission statement. But when I look out at the children in our audiences whose parents are in the midst of divorces, being able to look out at those kids who are clinging to their parents and weeping for the last 10 minutes of our show, you realize the larger mission statement we're serving. And it's one that needs to be served. And the laughter is also one that needs to be served, And so I'm happy to be part of a joy factory in that way, especially in these times. But, there are larger missions at play on Broadway right now, and they're all different, and I'm thrilled at the one I get to serve.
I have never worked this long or this hard on anything. I shouldn't say hard, because it was actually quite easy. It checked all the boxes of everything I love about theater. Conor McPherson is a great playwright. Everyone acknowledges that, and he will be acknowledged throughout history as being one of the great playwrights. So this book of his, which he's nominated for rightfully, is unendingly interesting to me. I've worked on it from the time we started at the Public in 2018, and up till now I still am digging and finding, and it's because of his talent as a writer that is happening. And then you couple that with Bob Dylan, who for my book is in my mind is the great artist of our time, and he is a poet, and so these songs are poetry that Simon Hale and Connor found a way to orchestrate to let these actors, of which I'm one, show you what's inside our souls that we can't show you as we're going through our dirty, dusty life in the boarding house.
Working very closely with Lynn Nottage, who wrote the book, Lynn and I were always very conscious of the fact that we didn't want to create a show that was a tribute show or just simply a hagiography. That we wanted to explore the complexities of a genius artist, so I think for us the challenge was, of course, we want to acknowledge and be inspired by the iconic music and dance of Michael Jackson without trying to recreate him. And in finding newcomer Miles Frost, we found a performer who can embody the essence of MJ, but very much stand out as himself as well. And that was really key in this process for us.
I think I was really blessed to have a wonderful collaborator like Christopher, because from the very moment we sat down, we were able to be in dialogue and to have a genuine open conversation about what we want to accomplish, how we want to make this thing, to bounce ideas, to welcome each other's ideas, to reject each other's ideas. And it's really rare to find someone with whom you have that kind of creative fluidity and who uplifts you as a theater maker. It was a really delightful and wonderful process.
So much fun. I mean, Ayodele Cassell, our choreographer, she choreographed that thing to a T. All those idols that I just spoke about, the William Henry Lanes, John Bubbles, Bill Bojangles Robinson, Bill Bailey, Baby Lawrence, the Nicholas brothers, Sammy Davis Jr., Gregory Hines. She took steps and dissected them and came up with the fusion of all of those amazing icons in tap dance, and she orchestrated, she reorchestrated actually the music to a certain degree, but she came up with a solo that just lets me tell the history of, who they were in my own way, being me. It's surreal because I walk out there on that stage every night and you feel different every day. Like, the routine won't ever be the same 2 nights in a row just because one of those icons, one of my idols, takes over me every night. They take turns. And it's just like, you can say I'm possessed, but really I'm just overtaken by the spirit of, those who paved the way for me. And it's outer body every single time. It's outer body every single time I step on stage. And I'm like, man, I'm a Black Eddie Ryan. I get to tell a story that maybe, other Eddie Ryans never got a chance to tell. I really feel like, in a way, I'm healing, people. I'm opening people's minds to a new idea, and I'm helping people grow alongside of myself on stage every night.
Well, the process was long and involved. I mean, I started work on this play in 2016. I think our original production at Steppenwolf was in Chicago was in 2018. Then, of course, we were here on Broadway in previews in 2020 when the pandemic shut us down. The play has pretty much, the play changes a little bit here and there, but what's interesting is that the context, the time in which the play is being presented has changed and made the play just that much more real and immediate and kind of creepy in some ways. And then the audience response is what we had hoped for, which is that they're deeply engaged with the play, laughing outrageously during the first hour of the play, and then really involved in those conversations after the play. Some people are thrilled by it, some people are angered by it, but everybody's leaving talking about the play. They're not talking about where they're going to eat or where they park the car. They're in conversation about the show.
It's been incredible. The rehearsal process has been lovely. Everyone's been so supportive of each other, and also just being able to watch people that have been doing it before is inspirational. People like John Hodgkinson, people like Ryan Pope, people like Gabby French, who I get to do a lot of my scenes with, Andy Nyman, who is fantastic. So for me, that's been a massive part of the fun for me, is watching them.
I'm lucky to have a lot of stage moms and dads, Harvey Firestein being one of my moms, Ben Vereen being one of my dads, and now Randy and Billy being added to that beautiful family. But yeah, they very quickly felt familiar and familial, and the chemistry it just was so easy to fall into with them. And I think ultimately the relationship that we have off stage is really what makes what happens on stage even more special.
Coming from London, we have the Oliviers, but the Tonys, on Broadway, you always kind of go, it's the Tonys, and you watch it avidly and you stay up late and you're trying to find out all the stuff. To be a part of that, it's wonderful, and a significant moment for the industry coming back to Broadway, and audiences coming back to Broadway. To do it with a show that we care deeply about and that we think has something to say and is empowering people, particularly young women. It's everything we could ask for, right?
I think one of the things that's so remarkable about this season is we were the show that shuttered on our original opening night, which was March 12th, 2020. And so to reopen 19 months later, October 3rd, 21, and be the first original musical to come back, we needed to preserve that moment because it was so, it was not just about us, it was about the entire industry.
It's been tremendous. I mean, to see Black women holding space for each other, holding space for me as a Black woman, me being able to hold space for them, the whole idea of sisterhood, Black female sisterhood, that was the living, our rehearsal process was the living embodiment of that. And then it's just a transfer onto the stage. So it's just tremendous, and I'm so thankful for each of them.
Camille is a gift. It is, I'm sure everyone's aware how rare it is to see pregnancy in a creative space like this. And for her to believe in me, when I've never been pregnant before and she's never worked with a pregnant woman before, and both of us were like, well, that's live theater. Let's see how it goes. Let's see, and just be present, I think it's been a great exercise in putting one foot in front of the other, trusting, and also not being ashamed. I feel like, and I've always felt, even before my own pregnancy, that this is how we all got here, and it should be celebrated. And for it to be celebrated in a creative space with this group of women and Camille, who is tiny but mighty, is a dream.
Oh, Scott is incredible. Scott Ellis is how I'm here. He's what made me say yes. And he's active. I mean, the man directed us. He's involved, and he's smart, and he's funny, and he's decisive, but also collaborative, and creative, and knows how to meet you where you are, and give you an opportunity to take it to the next step. So this is all about Scott Ellis too.
This cast and this creative team have shaped me into the person that I am standing in front of you. They mean the absolute world to me. I will go to bat for them. I will fight for them through it, thick and thin, because we have been through the ringer, trying to get this show to where it is, and it's so worth it.
I have to tell you, as you know, and we've discussed, that Christopher Sieber is charged with throwing me the ball every night. And when you're a comedic duo, someone is the straight man and someone's the clown. And as funny as he is, because straight men are funny, Bud Abbott was hilarious, I get to be Costello, right? I'm the more buffoon. And I wouldn't be able to land anything if he weren't so generous, so giving, so right there with me. We're right together on the timing. So as far as this pin and nomination, he gets it on weekends and holidays. That's what I like to say.
The reason that I just had to say yes to the play was the chance to do a farce where women are it. I've said to Nathan Lane, it's like, dude, I think I kind of have the Nathan Lane part. And I'll try to do you justice. It's really thrilling that we get to carry the comedy. Like Selena Fillinger wrote a play and let the women carry the comedy. And it's been really a joy.
They're extraordinary. Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Rockwell, now Darren Criss just coming onto the scene. I mean, I've been a fan of Lawrence Fishburne since the 70s when I first saw him in Apocalypse Now. And so having the chance to not only work with them once pre-COVID and then sort of shut down and work with them on Zoom and then let the play marinate for 2 years and come back, it's just been a gift. And so to get this recognition for their work too in the production is fantastic.
I love these guys. I mean, I really do. They're each they're individuals, each in their own right. They're all very, very different from one another. I think they're perfectly cast. They have great senses of humor, and it's been wonderful getting to know each of them individually over time. And I think that's one of the gifts of being coming back after a pandemic. You don't normally get this amount of time with a group of people.
I mostly wanted to be a part of the show because Sheldon has such funny lines. he's got great stuff to say. Not to mention that wonderful monologue that she wrote for him. But I just fell in love with the play and the character.
I think what Music Man highlights for all of us is the importance of community. And and how we can all grow more and better when we come together and do it together. I mean, I think that's a big message of the show. It's also a love story, but it's not just a romantic love story. It's the way the love people within the town develops for one another in the course of the show. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful show for this time.
Well, we knew going into this thing that Michael Jackson has some of the most dedicated, intense, and demanding fans in the world. And we knew that if we didn't get it right, they were going to let us know. And so we worked really hard, I think, to honor the legacy of Michael Jackson, but to also honor who he was as an individual. And I think one of the things that I'm most proud of is that lots of his family has come to see the show. And what they've said to us repeatedly is, we see Michael. You know, you have managed to capture his essence, and that is a testament to Miles Frost and to Arami, who's his understudy, and to Christopher Wheeldon, who crafted the show with me.
I think that's the most wonderful thing about it, is that I've had so many people say to me it feels like a new musical, and I think that that's what Stephen would want more than anything. He was such a fan of reinvention and such a fan of watching his work grow. So that is the biggest thrill of all, that so many young people would say, oh, I thought this was a new piece. Nothing would make Stephen happier than that.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.